So good morning, Shmai Bodada, and welcome back to Right Nice Places with me, Dan. And today, I really am in a right nice place, but it's not where you might expect. Today, you see all this greenery behind me, absolutely beautiful. We're going to be discovering an old spooky tower, as well as an old beacon and a pike and a guard tower. We're going to see a castle, we're going to see beautiful rolling hills, and I'm going to introduce you to my new furry little friend. Well, not my new furry little friend, I've known him a while, but my furry friend Rueban, which is Max's four-legged cousin. And he's coming on a walk with me today as well. And judging by the surroundings, you might be thinking, obviously in mid-Wales today. That is not the case. Today, I've come home. I am back in Lloegr, an old Lloegr, or back in England. And I'm dog sitting. So today, I thought I'd share with you a really beautiful 5-mile route on the tops in my hometown that will take in Rivington Pike, Liverpool Castle, a stunning reservoir, and just a right nice place in general, and just not what you think of when you think of Bolton in your head, you know. So yeah, so let's carry on, and I'll speak to you a little bit in just around the corner. There you can see my mommy's dog, the cockapoo Rueban, and Max as well. Rueban is a little bit softer than our Maxie, but he's doing well today, and he's enjoying this walk, and that's Max's little cousin, you know, a little cockapoo. Come on, Max, come on, Rueban. So today, 2 doggies on my mooch, and yeah, as I said, you might not associate Bolton with beautiful hikes, but you'd be wrong. You know, a lot of people think of Bolton, they think of Peter Kay, you know, Vernon Kay, Warburton's Bread, you know, Bolton Wanderers, also one of the founding members of the Footballing League, an awesome team, obviously. But yeah, these are the sort of things you think of when you think of Bolton. You probably don't think of spectacular hill walking, but obviously we are in Lancashire, or these days it's supposed to be Greater Manchester, but rubbish to that, we'll always be Lancashire. And obviously being in Lancashire, we're surrounded by moors, aren't we? Surrounded by moors. And that's what we're going to be walking up today. And this beginning path, if I'm honest, is taking my breath away. It's much warmer than I expected. And I'll show you this beginning path. Nice little rocky path going up the side of the moorland. Here we go. That's it, Rubes. Got the 2 doggies there, absolutely loving life. And I'm hoping in a second you should get a right nice view. Yeah, we should get a right nice view in just a moment. I'll share it with you. But it's good for Rueban, this. Our Rueban, he's a reet mard dog. And mard's the right northern word. So if you don't know what mard means soft. Yeah, or a bit wet, you know. And Rueban is as wet as they come. But anyway, look at this view. I am, but I do love him. You know, if my mom's watching this, I'm sorry, I'm not, you know, bullying your dog. But yeah, look at these views behind me now. Absolutely incredible. Really, really pretty. So I know when we think of old northern mill towns that gave us the spinning jenny and the Industrial Revolution, we think of grey, grim places, and especially those down south will describe the north as being grim. But, you know, let me just show you this, because this isn't grim, this is wicked. There you go. I mean, look at that. Absolutely stunning. Green, pleasant reservoirs, and in the very distance on the horizon, I can even see the iconic Blackpool Tower. I'll put a big old arrow on the screen now so you can see what I'm looking at, but there's Blackpool Tower as well. We're now coming to, oh, look at Rueban running back to me. We're now coming to the first point of interest on this walk, which when I was a kid, we always called this the Witch's Tower, and in actual fact it's called the Pigeon Tower, but I'll show you what it looks like. I think it looks like a witch's tower. Look at that. Spooky. I mean, it does look spooky, doesn't it? You know, you can imagine Rapunzel dangling her hair out of there, perhaps after being trapped in by a witch. I'm not quite sure who built the Pigeon Tower, but what I will do is have a little Google of it. Yes, I'm not quite sure who built the the Witch's Tower or the Pigeon Tower, but using modern technology and pop-ups on your screen, you'll now find out. So Rueban's been brave, and so's Max, so I think I would be, and we'll see if we can get into the Witch's Tower, which is actually the Pigeon Tower. It was just as kids, when we used to walk up here, I used to always think it looked like, you know, a spooky ass Witch's Tower, but let's see if we can go in. Here it is in front of me now. And let's see if we can get in there. Let's follow this little path. Come on, boys. All right, you've got the gardens down below us there. And here we go, a little bit. The Pigeon Tower, as it is now, was built in 1905. So there you go, guys. Should we, I don't know if we can go in. And no, you can't. Boo! Boo, a big door in front of it. So there you go. So it was built in 1905, and it says, what's it say here? It says it's really cool inside, but you know, we ain't getting in there. So that sucks, you know. But yeah, it was just built as a nice viewing platform for these gardens in front of us, apparently. Anyway, what we're going to do, because we can't get in there, and that's a real shame. And see, if this was in Wales now, that'd be open. You know, if you've seen my video of the Norwich Quarry and Dolbaddarn Castle, far more historically important than this, and you can just go in. You know, and saying that, this is Rivington above Horwich. If as pretty as this surrounding area is, Horwich is still a bit grim. And if you opened up the Pigeon Tower, you'd probably find a load of spice heads were living in it by end of week. So, yeah, I can't really fault Bolton Council for that one. Anyway, we're going to carry on this walk now. And you might be able to see in the distance the next point of call on this little walk, which is Rivington Pike itself. And you might be able to see Rivington Pike. We call it Rivy Pike, but you might be able to see it just in the distance there. It's not really an old beacon house. It's not really an old watchtower. What it is was just something that was built in the 1700s, because, you know, back then people really did enjoy just getting out, didn't they, and having a bit of a view and stuff. So you can imagine people would have mooched up here in their old petticoats and their old tweed jackets and enjoyed the views of the Lancashire moors, which is what we're going to go and do once we get up there now. So yeah, I'm just going to go though, because there's another dog coming, and Rueban's a bit soft, so he'd normally be hiding in a bush by now, and I can't be bothered dragging him out. You see the pike now right in front of me, and that's where we're going to carry on walking to. Now it's obviously a little bit steeper at the end here, but this walk, I don't, you know, I know I do all my videos in a hurry, but I thought it's such a splendid day. I've had to come up to Bolton to dog sit for my mum and dad, because, you know, my mum and dad are in the 60s now, and they finally decided to go and try out Amsterdam for the first time. So as we speak, they're probably, you know, chilling out on a bit of space cake, and God knows what they're up to. I'm sure they're not. I'd like to think really that they're at the Rijksmuseum and Van Gogh, but probably not. Probably having a big doobie, aren't they? Anyway, with Rueban being a little bit soft, the last time he went away, he stayed at my house. And honestly, he was just not happy, bless him. So this time I've come up to theirs, because Max don't care where he is as long as there's food. And then Rueban's been loads more comfortable. And I thought, you know what, let's get a video done whilst I'm up here, because it is a bloody nice walk, you know. So if you do live around Greater Manchester or Lancashire and you've never been up here before, then I strongly recommend it, because it's really easy. You know, where I parked at the bottom, it was a free car park. There's a cafe close by where you can get ice cream and a coffee and a bit of cake and whatnot. And then you can see the path around me. You know, I'm going uphill, obviously. But it's nothing like being in a hurry, you know. These are big, flat, wide paths that are built for anybody, really. And any level of fitness could do it. And you don't even need, you know, I bang on about kit and stuff in a hurry, but you could certainly, I know I've got my walking gear on, but it's kind of, when you live where I live, all you really own is walking gear. But you could do this in your shorts and t-shirts, you know. It's most pleasant. I've got the rucksack with me today, simply because I've got water in for the dogs, water in for myself, and the jet boil, because, you know, I might fancy a bit of lunch while I'm out. And I've got a bit of beef stew and barley in my bag, so I thought, why not, you know, why not indeed. But you see Max is leading the way, but Rueban's doing so well today, look at him. Absolutely loving it, because he's normally such a nervous little dog. He's having a lovely time. And you can see the pike right in front of me there. So I'll join you again at the top, and I'll share the awesome views with you. Okay, hello. So we're at the top of the pike now, guys. We're at Rivington Pike. I'm sure you can see around me. I always love the moors behind me here. So this is the top of Winter Hill that we've got over there. And I've always loved it because I've always thought the aerial structure over there, one of the mass, always reminds me of a rocket ship since being a kid. I always thought it was like Thunderbird 2 or something. Not Thunderbird 2, more Thunderbird 1. Anyway, rather than me going on about the Thunderbirds, let me show you what a right nice place my hometown really is. So yeah, I'm sure you can see just how awesome the views are around us. Boys, come on, stay close. And yeah, so you can see everything around me here. But sadly, you can't get to the top of this little tower. You can't get to the top of Rivington Pike. And this is as good as it gets. So yeah, observation and viewing platform. And yeah, it's bloody good, to be fair. And you get the sense of why the north is so damn green and pleasant. You know, you feel like Eddard Stark stood up here. I just need a wolfskin cloak, you know. But anyway, what we're going to do now, me and the boys, is we're going to sit down over there. And I'm going to go and make a brew, if I'm honest. I'm going to get the old jet boil out because it's such an easy walk, this, that, you know, there's no rush. So I'm going to sit and have a brew, I think. So I'll see you in a moment. Look at these two boys. They are absolutely loving it. Hello, Rubes. Are you having a good time? You having a good time, my mate? You are? You're not? I think you are. Look at that tail going. I think Max is having a good time as well. I think you both are. Anyway, sorry about that, getting distracted by the cuteness of my dogs. Well, one dog, that's mine, and one's like my mum's. But yeah, so we're coming down from the tower now, or from the pike. I was going to sit up there and get the jet boil out and have a brew. But you forget just how popular a spot this is. So I got to the summit. I mean, it's only a little hill, innit, really. But yeah, so I got up there and sat next to the pike, was going to get the jet boil out, and it was like a little coach had just pulled up at the bottom of the hill or something, and like literally every man and his dog turned up, you know. So I didn't want to sit there in a crowd, so I thought what we'll do is we'll carry on our walk, and I'm heading now down to a beautiful reservoir and Liverpool Castle. Now, I'm nowhere near Liverpool, and it's not a real castle, it's a folly. It's a replica castle. But it's still cool, and that's where we're heading down to. So I thought I'll find somewhere along the route for a quieter brew. I mean, I'm not really very far into the walk at all, and I don't need a brew. It'd just be nice to have a brew, you know. But I don't like sitting in crowds. It's not why I come to the outdoors. It's just that when you come to an area like Bolton, that's obviously a very built-up area. When you escape onto the hills like this, they get very popular because obviously people want the green space, don't they? They want to explore the outdoors, and as you know, I'm a big fan of that. I think it's so important for people's mental health, especially if you're living in a town or a city. In Bolton, it's all but a city in name, really. I mean, it's a giant town if you don't know much about it. It is a beast of a town, and unlike any big old town, it's full of pollution and filth, you know, so people of course want to escape, and that's bloody important. So, you know, I don't begrudge everyone sat up there. I just don't want to sit with them and have my brew, and instead I'm going to keep walking downwards now towards this reservoir that's just in front of me. That reservoir there that you can see a little bit further down the hill, I'm going to guess there'll be plenty of empty spaces along the side of that for us to have a beautiful brew, and the dogs can have a paddle and a drink as well then. Just walking down the hill then, and thought I best quickly film just to show you this iconic place. Now just in the distance there you might be able to see the home of the mighty Bolton Wanderers. Again, I'll bring a big arrow in now and you should be able to see the football ground. Normally I'd tell you what the football ground's called, but you know, for me it will always be the Reebok Stadium, but it isn't that anymore. You know, it's been the Macron, it's been the University of Bolton Stadium, and I'm pretty sure it's the Tough Sheet. I mean, who names it Tough Sheet? What a shit name for a football stadium. You know, Reebok was far cooler, but obviously Reebok pulled out of sponsoring Bolton. But Reebok was another firm that was started in Bolton, and it's a far more iconic name, isn't it, than the fucking, than the Tough Sheet. I mean, it just sounds like tough shit, doesn't it? It's just a rubbish name. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble on about that, but that's the home to Bolton Wanderers. Now, it's not quite the abandoned buildings that we're used to in Ururi, but it is a cool little, you can see Max down there, look, exploring. Ruben's coming up here now. What a good dog walk this is, though. Look at these old buildings here. I'm going to assume they're not that old, to be honest, but they look cool, don't they? And we're going to carry on walking down here now, and you can see this first little lake
or resi that we're coming to at the bottom. And I reckon this might be a spot that we could certainly have a good brewing. So let's go down here. Lead the way, boys, lead the way. This walk, honestly, is so nice, and you know, it just shows, doesn't it, that when people think it's grim up north, or if you live up north and you think, oh, it's rubbish, I can never get out walking, I can't do anything. Well, actually, you know, this took me 15-20 minutes to drive to, 20 minutes to drive to from my mum and dad's house, you know, and they live in Bolton, and you're just out in the middle of the countryside, fresh air. And I'm really chuffed as well, because if you watch my last video, we were totally scuppered, me and Nauco, with the Welsh weather. We didn't get to do a big walk at all. It was quite a short walk, so it's lovely to be able to just amble along in the sunshine, listening to the sounds of the birds, and it's wicked. And I'm also excited today because Arcos, or Oherwydd, is because in Welsh. Oherwydd, I think, is more northern, and Arcos, I think, is more southern, but I think it also depends on where you're using it a sentence. But tonight, Heddiw today, tonight. Oh my God, my mind's gone blank. Well, that was a bit embarrassing, wasn't it? So tonight is Heno. Heno is tonight, and tonight, so ag Heno, dwi'n mynd I dosbarth Cymraeg. So tonight I am going to Welsh class. So it starts again tonight, my Welsh lesson, so I'm really excited about that, and it should be really, really good. So that starts tonight, and if you are wanting to learn Welsh, I know I teach a little bit on here, but it is a little bit, let's be honest, but if you want to learn Welsh properly, there's a couple of people that are worth checking out. I mean, first off, there's a geezer on social media called Dr. Cymraeg, and that guy's brilliant. I love listening to him because he not only teaches you Welsh words, but he also teaches you the history of the words. Which I think is really cool, especially, come on Rubes, especially with a language as old as Welsh. But the best thing you can do for me, and the best thing I found for myself, and I've since become qualified and I've got qualifications in Welsh now, I did it all through the University of Wales. And if you go on to dysgucymraeg.net, and I'll put the link in the description to this video, but if you go on there, it is so cheap. I think Welsh is factually the cheapest language to learn anywhere in terms of actually having tuition. So, you know, you can get a full-on course. My first lot of courses, which included 2 tutor sessions for 2 hours a week each, or a total of 4 hours, plus textbooks and lessons and all that sort of stuff, it's 50 quid, and I come out with qualifications, you know, which is just crazy, and so cheap to do. So yeah, I'll post the description, but worth doing. I'm going to go because I need to get the dogs on the lead a minute. So that was beautiful to see. So I'm walking back through the woods. I've got the dogs on the lead at the minute because we're approaching a public road in a second, or a farm road. But just walking past a group then of kids, they couldn't have been any older than 16, 17, a couple of girls, a couple of lads. They had map cases around the necks, and by the sounds of it and by the looks of it, they were sort of practicing for the Duke of Edinburgh bronze, I would say, was the sort of level they were at. But how good's that to say, you know, they were all laughing and they're all joking. Don't get me wrong, this is a tiny hill, but for them kids who've never walked a hill before, this is a mountain, you know. And they're rightly proud of themselves, mooching up, saying, oh, do you think we can beat the other group, and da-da-da-da-da. And that's the sort of competition you want to see kids having, isn't it? Healthy, you know, outdoors, just wonderful to see, you know. I love seeing that. And if you've got young kids and they're not signed up to a Duke of Edinburgh or a Cadets or anything like that, then get them signed up, because kids coming out on their own, oh, I've got tied up with dogs here, kids coming out on their own into the outdoors and having to figure stuff out, hang on boys, I'm tied, is a wonderful thing, you know. And yeah, them kids look far happier than kids hanging around a bus station, let me tell you. So whenever you can, promote the outdoors to your kids, get them out there. Brilliant. So here we are now at the site of Liverpool Castle on the Rivington Walk. See a little turret there, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this castle as we walk through it, and I can show it you at a better angle. You should be able to see Liverpool Castle behind me now, and obviously I've not walked to Liverpool. I'm very much still in Bolton, and I'm still very much at or in Rivington. It's called Liverpool Castle because Lord Leverhulme, the chap who built it, he thought when he first saw the reservoirs here, he thought it sort of resembled the site where the original Liverpool Castle was. And so he wanted this built. And he had it built, and he purposely wanted it built like a ruins. So yeah, so we now have this random thing, and in the distance, just at the top, you can see Rivington Pike looking down at us, and the mass on Winter Hill as well. But I've just stopped here, I've just lit the old jet boil. I'm going to get a brew on the go, and the dogs are having some water. I just thought, what a right nice place to stop. You know, you've got the castle behind me there. Just in front of me, I've got the cracking view of a resi. So yeah, seems like an idea. I'm not going to have any food though, if I'm honest. It's really not a difficult walk, this. I mean, I think it said 6 miles, but it's a 6 easy mile. You know, I think the OS maps recommended about 3.5 hours, and so far I'm an hour into the walk. So it's not far at all. And I think, you know, I've already been all the way up there and I'm back down here. So I don't think it's going to take me much longer than 40 odd minutes from here. So I thought, might as well make a brew and then just amble along with a nice cup of tea. But what a day for it. Unbelievable. I mean, this is tropical for Bolton, let me tell you. Grim up north, my arse. It's absolutely splendid, isn't it? So I've brewed up, but I thought we'd just take this opportunity to quickly show you the castle inside and around it. So here we go. Let's have a look. So the dog's raring to go. Go on then, boys. Here you go. Look at this. It's cool, isn't it? Obviously, it's not original. Obviously, it's what you'd call a folly. But, you know, what a cool place to come and play as a kid, eh? And then if we go back through these archways, you can then come back out into the forecourt, and you've got more little doorways you can explore and stuff, you know. So, you know, how cool is this? If you're a kid and you've got young kids and you want something to do with them, this is totally free. Look. And you can have a nice walk up to the Pike, a walk around the countryside, and then, you know, a castle like this with a kid's imagination, my word, you could be in here for absolutely hours, couldn't you? You know, and kids would absolutely love it. I mean, I'm a 40-year-old man and I love it. So yeah, anyway, we're going to press on with the walk now and get down towards the reservoir. So I'm walking now through this beautiful woods, and you can see the reservoir on my left-hand side. It's lower Rivington Reservoir, that. And you can see it just there. And what a pleasant walk this is. And now, on this part of the walk, there's no more hills. I'm just going to be walking all the way along this reservoir. We're going to get to the end, swing a quick right, and I'll be back where I started. So, a really, really pleasant, beautiful, family-friendly, everybody-friendly walk. Right in the heart of an industrial town, you know. So it just shows, doesn't it? You don't always have to travel to Ururi or the lakes or the highlands to discover a right nice place. There's some right on our doorsteps. And yeah, can't beat it, can't beat it. The amount of families out, dogs, fishermen, cyclists. It's great to see, you know. It is great to see. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy this little mooch along the resi. I'll speak to you in just a moment. So I'm now approaching Rivington Barn Hall, which for me, it's like a blast from the past, Rivy Hall. This is where young Dan got his posh gear on and went to prom, you know. This is where we had our prom back in the day, and let me tell you, it was nothing like what you see in the American movies. It was more me and my other chavvy mates hanging around the forest and drinking a bottle of MD 2020. If you remember the stuff, we used to refer to it as Mad Dog. It used to come in all the colours of the rainbow. So yeah, necking a quarter bottle of that before walking up here thinking you look like reservoir dogs on the approach. Whereas in actual fact, we just look like a bunch of dweebs, you know. But yeah, prom night at Rivy Barn. I'll show it you in just a second when I pass it. But bloody hell, how long ago was that? 24, 25 years ago? Ooh, I'm getting old. But yeah, little blast from the past. I'll show you when we get there. Some nice shepherd's huts there though, I'll show you them. There you go, look at those. They're lovely, aren't they? Be a nice place to stay. So there it is in all its splendour, where Dan had his prom. Brilliant, right. When everyone else was getting lifted up in cool cars and stuff like that, me and the lads managed to jump in the back of one of the teachers' camper vans. It's like the Mystery Machine, you know. Well, yeah. Right, the gang arriving to solve a mystery at this old ass barn, but yeah, there you go. So that's Rivington Barn Hall. So yeah, not far from the end of the walk now, to be fair. So I'm leaving Rivy Hall, and we're going to go up through these woods and back towards where we started at the car park. Probably around about half a mile. So there you go. Thank you very much today for joining me in a right nice place, my hometown, Bolton. And as you can see, it isn't just an industrial old mill town that's on its arse. We've got some absolutely stunning countryside. And alright, some of the castles and pikes might have been follies and pretend, but it's nice to use your imagination, isn't it? But thank you very much, as always, for joining me at Right Nice Places. And I can't wait to take you somewhere nice again soon. Bye for now.